Perhaps someone might learn from my experiences. Please keep me anonymous. I am a 50-year-old woman. My story begins in 1990 when I was 16. My first intimate encounter was with my father's close friend. It wasn't a case of coercion. I was driven by curiosity. All my friends had already experienced it, and their conversations made me feel left out. The man, nearly 50 years old, accepted my advances. Surprisingly, it wasn't painful. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I had already heard that the first time isn't usually pleasant. The subsequent encounters were more enjoyable, and this man became my first boyfriend until he suffered a stroke in 1992. From that point, I developed a preference for older men. I never dated anyone my age or any student. Instead, I was drawn to older men. I became involved with many adults in my neighborhood, including married men, grandfathers, pastors, and numerous friends of my father. I wasn't just in relationships, I was also exploiting these men for money. They willingly gave me money, and I accumulated significant wealth from these relationships. By the time I was 19, I had moved out of my parents' home and was living independently, with all the trappings of wealth. I managed to enroll myself in university, something my parents couldn't afford. They refused to accept any money from me because my father believed I was engaging in immoral activities. This didn't bother me. I continued to support them through my elder brother. At university, my lifestyle didn't change. I dated lecturers, professors, and many other influential people. In 1999, with the help of a businessman I was dating, I bought my first car. My journey took me abroad for the first time in 2002 when I traveled to the United States. Over the years, I moved between Germany, the US, and Canada. By 2007, I was settled in Canada, where I lived and worked until my deportation to Ghana in 2015. During this period, I amassed a considerable amount of wealth. Although I wasn't extraordinarily rich, I owned houses, businesses, and cars. I've yet to mention marriage or children because by the time I was 27, I had lost my womb. This was a pivotal moment in my life. I left the country to see if anything could be done about my condition, but all efforts were in vain. The loss of my womb was devastating, but I tried to console myself with money and material possessions. I continued my relationships with older men, deriving a twisted pleasure from being with married men and disrupting their homes. Around 2010, I began to regret my past. I longed to have children, but adoption wasn't an option for me in Canada. I envied couples and craved the stability they had. By then, it was too late for me. No decent man wanted to be with me. Only drunks and impoverished old men showed any interest, viewing me as a washed-up woman. My physical appearance deteriorated rapidly, and I began to suffer from various diseases. To cope with my pain, I turned to drugs, which further deteriorated my mental and physical health. My health issues worsened over time. By 2015, my life had spiraled out of control. I was arrested for the second time and deported back to Ghana. Returning home felt like hitting rock bottom. All the wealth I had accumulated was either lost or spent on trying to maintain my deteriorating health. I now live in a house in Accra, the only asset I have left. I rent out part of the house to make ends meet, but my health is so poor that no amount of money can truly help. The support from my siblings, whom I had helped establish earlier in life, is not enough to cover my medical expenses. My body has aged prematurely, and I look much older than my years. I am constantly on medication, including antiretroviral drugs, which are hard to find in Ghana. Most of these are shipped to me by my brother who lives abroad. The physical and emotional pain I endure is immense. At 50, I feel like I am just waiting for death to free me from my suffering. Looking back, I see the consequences of my actions. I could have chosen a different path, but I was driven by greed and the thrill of my lifestyle. I hurt many people, broke up families, and now I am paying the price. I want my story to serve as a warning to others, especially young people. There is nothing glamorous about living a life filled with such choices. It may seem exciting at the moment, but it all comes back to haunt you eventually. I am living proof of that. Today I am alone, sick, and full of regrets. I have no children to comfort me in my old age. The money and material possessions I once valued so highly mean nothing now. My health is failing and I'm in constant pain. If I could go back, I would choose differently. I would seek out meaningful relationships and live a life of integrity. I would cherish family and stability over fleeting pleasures. But it is too late for me now. All I can do is share my story in the hope that others might learn from my mistakes and choose a better path. To all the young women and men out there, Think about the future when you make decisions today. Every action has consequences. I am facing my karma now, lonely and sick. It is not worth it. There are so many things I wish I could undo. The relationships I destroyed, the people I hurt, and the choices I made out of selfishness and greed. My life is a testament to the fact that living recklessly catches up with you eventually. Please take my story to heart. Strive for a life of meaning and purpose. Build relationships based on love and respect. Value your health and well-being. Do not be swayed by temporary pleasures or material gain. One of the biggest lessons I have learned is the importance of integrity. Living a life of honesty and moral principles might not always be easy, but it is worth it. It brings peace of mind and a sense of fulfillment that money cannot buy. I spent so many years chasing after wealth and excitement, thinking they would bring me happiness. But now, I see that true happiness comes from living a life of purpose and integrity. It comes from loving and being loved, from building something meaningful and lasting. I hope that by sharing my story, I can help others avoid the same mistakes I made. I want to encourage young people to think deeply about their choices and the kind of life they want to lead. Although I cannot change my past, I am seeking redemption in my own way. I am trying to make peace with the people I have hurt and find forgiveness for myself. It is a difficult journey, but I believe it is necessary for my own healing. I am also trying to give back to my community in any way I can. Despite my health issues, I volunteer my time and resources to help those in need. It is my way of making amends and finding some sense of purpose in my life. As I move forward, I am focusing on living each day with gratitude and purpose. I may not have much time left, but I want to make the most of it. I want to leave behind a legacy of hope and redemption rather than one of regret and pain. I hope that by sharing my story, I can inspire others to make better choices and live a life of integrity and purpose. It is never too late to change and seek redemption. We all have the power to make a difference, no matter our past. In conclusion, my life has been a journey of highs and lows, of mistakes and lessons learned. I have faced the consequences of my actions, and now I am seeking redemption and peace. To anyone reading this, please take my story as a cautionary tale. Make choices that you will be proud of in the future. Value your health, your relationships, and your integrity. These are the things that truly matter in life. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. I hope it serves as a reminder of the importance of living a life of purpose and integrity. This is a cautionary story from a writer who wants to stay anonymous. Read unedited. Kindly subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified when the next video is uploaded. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this message with your friends and family, so it can reach more people around the world. To share your stories, you can send us a message via the email provided in the description. We'll meet again in our next video.